We're back to the Total Tutor Show, powered by the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment. Again, we are thechallenge.com, totaltutor.net, and beachlifestyleradio.com. And I'm really excited to welcome the program former Pitt Panther and NFL star Anthony Dorsett Jr. Anthony, thanks for calling, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, brother. It's good to be talking to somebody back home.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to talk to you as well. And it's just something about, the University of Pittsburgh and Panther pride. And I guess, Anthony, you never lose it, do you?
Nah, man, you know the saying, hail to Pitt.
That's right. That's right. So especially for our Pittsburgh audience, even though we're nationally syndicated and we're all over the world as well, Pitt is always going to be the team I always talk about. So you're my first Pitt Panther. I've had Steelers. I've had different people on in your career. And I know our Pittsburgh fans might remember when you were with the Titans and how you kind of did some things to stop the Steelers at times. So that was pretty difficult, wasn't it, playing against the Steelers? Especially, you know.
Man, it was one of the best times that I had, because my rookie year, actually one of the first games that I was active was when we played the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it was great going home. It was always a hit in my pocket because, of course, I would be getting anywhere from 15 to 30 tickets per game sometimes. So, that was a stretch. But outside of that, it was always good to, at least play at home or play the Steelers, because I knew everybody at home was going to get a chance to see me play.
Yeah, I agree. That must be cool, always coming home in certain ways, absolutely. And, Anthony, then you had a very successful NFL career and life after football. Tell us a little bit what's going on with life after football, then we'll get into especially what we're here to talk about today.
I think life after football has been pretty good. I've been able to do a couple of things, different things. Fortunately, I was able to get into some TV and radio and things like that. And I still have my hands in that niche. I'm actually trying to get back into TV this year, so hopefully you'll see me on some network. If it's not, I don't want to name any of them. Hopefully one of them will have me. And outside of that, I do sports performance training here in Dallas with a lot of different athletes as well. So I've been staying pretty busy.
That's great. That's fantastic. And one of your initiatives is this Dorsett Health Spectacular Tour. What made you want to do this? What was the reasoning? What to give back in certain ways?
Well, pretty much it's always been a part of me. My mother's always been into outreach ever since I was a kid. My mom used to go into a lot of, crack houses and things like that to try to help people come out. If she couldn't get people come out of the crack houses, she would at least try to make sure they had condoms and, things like that, so they wouldn't be transferring diseases and everything else like that. So learning from that and just seeing my family, I'm a product of a family that comes from, alcoholism, drug addicts, and things like that on both sides. So I've always been a high risk in a lot of areas. So, just having my mother with the type of heart that she had, and just watching her, it just always came natural for me to honestly get involved, giving back, and trying to do different things.
So how long have you been involved doing this?
With the health fairs?
Yes.
We've been doing the health fairs now. This should be 3 years.
3 years. So you started the process, so it must be a large undertaking, especially going from city to city and different things, right? So it must be a large undertaking, right, from city to city and the different places and setting up all the events?
Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Unfortunately, we have people who come out and donate a lot of time and a lot of their money and a lot of their efforts as well. But literally, it's one of those type of situations, regardless of the work, it's so beneficial for the people to actually be able to take part in that. So, at the end of the day, you look past the work and you look at the benefit.
And that's so important in the process of where you're going and where you need to go in specific ways. So tell us a little bit about the Health Spectacular, especially the one coming up in Pittsburgh, and some of the events involved in it.
Well, pretty much the way that it goes, we do totally free screening, and we teach people how to do healthy cooking, and a couple other seminars that are involved as well. But the way it pretty much goes, we do screenings from eyes, ears, we do cancer, we do AIDS, we do VMO, we do diabetes, we do eating disorders, and pretty much everything. So if each individual person comes through and goes to every screening, they get almost up to $1,500 worth of screening per individual. So at the end of the day, what it goes on is say, everyone has something going on with them. If it's not some type of small health issue, it may be a big one. What we're able to do is we're able to benefit and help out people who don't have insurance or people who just don't have the means to get to the hospital or whatever. We come to the communities and come to the neighborhoods and make it a little bit easier for them if we can.
Well, Anthony, I think that's a fantastic thing that you've come up to do. I mean, absolutely, to save money, to have the ability to have those tests for people that might have been afraid to go to a hospital to do it, but they might feel more comfortable at this event.
Yeah, and I mean, it gives you a chance to come out. You actually get to meet some different celebrities because we always try to get, some players from the city that we're in to come out and help out, show their faces as well, talk about some health initiatives and things like that. And then, it's just always good to educate people because a lot of times, when you're dealing with, lower income communities and things like that, it's just the lack of education, the lack of knowledge that has these people in a lot of the areas that they're in as far as health-wise. So as long as we're able to educate and leave some knowledge with these people, we're also able to help them get going in the right direction in a lot of other areas as far as eating right, dieting, having certain ways to work out. You don't have to be in the gym all the time to get a good workout in. There are ways you can do it at home as well.
I think that's great, and I think that you're definitely bringing an awareness out there. And so basically, for people to want to be involved in this, especially the one coming up in Aliquippa, am I correct? For the
tentative date right now is October 26th.
How do they get involved in that? How, especially the people that want to attend the event, but also people that would like to help as well?
Well, of course, they can look me up anywhere on Facebook. We have Dorsett Health Fair Facebook page. They can follow me on Twitter at Dorsett Jr. That's on Twitter at Dorsett Jr. And then as well, you could also get in touch with Lakeisha Womack, who you've talked to as well. And you could just find out, you could give her information if you don't mind, or, I don't want to put it out there like that right now without talking to her. But just try to find me any way that you can. And my stuff is all over the internet and everything else like that. So you can Google the Dorsett Health Fair. There's the email that goes attached to that as well. And just try to get in touch with us. We'll also be putting out some different information and be sending you some different stuff as we get closer to it to make it a little bit easier for people to be able to contact us as well.
Okay, so Anthony, tell us specifically from the other events that you've done so far in the last 3 years, some of the great stories that have happened from doing your event.
Well, we kicked the first one off actually in Indianapolis when the Super Bowl was there. And it was just such a great turnout that, everyone came out. And we actually had Tony Dungy's sister come out and talk about health and some eating things as well. Ty Law, a couple other players came out. And it was actually such a benefit to the people just to see not only myself but other athletes who actually cared about what was going on with them as well. And I mean, some of the success stories were just people who did not know that, say, they may have had a health issue here, a health issue there, and they were able to come and find out exactly what was going on with them. We did another one in New Orleans this year as well for the Super Bowl, and that turned out to be a great situation as well. We actually got a lot of the youth involved this time. And, right now you have to start teaching kids some good habits. So actually bringing the youth involved and getting them involved in this last health fair was so beneficial because now these kids are starting to understand, like, oh, this is like a lifestyle. It's not something that you just start doing all of a sudden. If we start living right now and continue, we'll be healthy all the way through the rest of our lives.
What I really like about this, Anthony, is the fact that you're doing an event like this that's so complex and involves a lot of time, but it's changing people's lives, their health. You're bringing awareness. I think it's such a fantastic part of it, and then you get to also go out and meet some of the celebrities that'll be at the events as well, and it's a great thing. What is your ultimate goal with the Dorsett Health Spectacular Tour? Where do you want it to go?
I would like for this thing to grow as big as it possibly could and be able to do, several of them quarterly. That's my ultimate goal. I would like for this thing to turn into like a national event. And just be able to take it all over the country and try to hit as many different cities as we can. My ultimate goal is just what you said, man. It's to change lives. One thing about it, football gave me a platform to be able to do a lot of different things. And fortunately, this is something that is like a lot bigger than sports or anything else like that when you get down to it. And so, you just have to be able to step out there and try to make some things happen. And I'm just grateful that I'm able to try to do some things and people are willing to help me out at the same time.
How are the communities responding, especially Indianapolis, after you went to the event? Were they really excited that you did this?
Oh, man, it was such a great turnout. Like everyone came out. They gave us like a facility at a new school that they had just built out there. I mean, the turnaround was ridiculous. And, I mean, they want us to come back. We've been keeping in touch with them and everything else like that. So, the great thing about it is, like, when you do an event like that and the people want you to come back, you've done something right.
I mean, and that's so great. So they want you back. You plan the event, and then there has to be a lot of people behind the scenes, just like Lakeisha, you said, to get this going. And it takes a lot of people to do something like this, especially volunteer people that volunteer their time and talent. And I'm sure in Indianapolis they did for sure.
Oh yeah, and they did the same thing in New Orleans as well. You know, and the thing about it is this. You know, when people honestly look past like we said earlier, you look past the work and you see the benefit of what's going on. You know, and at the same time, when these vendors come out, we're able to start up a whole different structure for them as well, because they need to know who they can pass the generic drugs to as well. You know, everyone does not have copay. Everyone can't go into the drugstores and buy expensive drugs. Sometimes people have to get generic drugs as well. So this allows people to start up a generic drug database for different clientele, you know, and just like we do so many different things at these health fairs. We scratch each other's backs in a lot of ways.
And I'm sure you're enthused to go to Pittsburgh for this. That's exciting.
Man, you know, one thing about it, to be able to hit, you know, my community in a lot of ways is so meaningful and beneficial. You know, simply because that is where I'm from, and I would love to see, you know, the health of my neighborhood and just my family and everyone in that community to increasingly be so much better. So yes, you know, to honestly take this back home is so major to me, and I just want this thing to be so great.
And I can see the excitement. I'm hearing the excitement in you and just saying, wow, I can't wait to be there. And I'm sure that the people in your community are going to be amazed that you're coming back. A lot of professional athletes that grew up in those areas have said, you know what, I no more. I don't need you anymore. I'm a superstar. You're humble enough to come back and say, hey, I'm here to use my gifts and talents that I did on the football field to help others, and especially help people in my community.
Those people made us the people we are today. Without fans, without community, without any of that, you could never be a star in any kind of way. So, you know, at the end of the day, you got to be appreciative of those people that, in fact, they even like the way that you played ball or enjoy what you did.
It's so true. And I'm so happy to talk to so many athletes. And I really have to say, athletes get a bad rap when there's so many of them do foundations like you do, Anthony. I'm telling you that it's too bad. It's like compared to other people, public figures that are, you know, that are celebrities, you guys do so much that's just not, it does not show up in the media all the time.
Well, you know, the media pick and chooses what they want to show. And more times than likely, they like to tear people down because they don't honestly know their individual. You know, they may know the only thing they know about that guy is what goes on in the field, the court, or whatever else. A lot of times, if they get to know these people and understand the outside of these people as well, they'll know that it's not about spreading the bad news all the time as well. You know, you got to show some success stories as well. But you know, we're just in that. Our culture is based off of that. You know, people remember the bad more than they remember the good.
And you're definitely giving back, and I'm very, very excited, and I hope to get the chance to meet you in October at the event. I was talking to Lakeisha about it, saying I want to come and cover it and see, maybe talk to some of the other athletes that'll be there. So we'll definitely stay in touch. But, Anthony, again, for our listeners, where can they find information on the Health Spectacular and also information on you?
Anthony Dorsett Jr. on Facebook, at Dorsett Jr. on Twitter, and as well as Dorsett Health Spectacular on Facebook as well.
Well, Anthony, it was an honor to have you on the show. First Pitt Panther I've had on, and it's so great, and definitely, especially with the being your father is such a famous athlete as well. It was an honor to have you on the show, and definitely we'll stay in touch. So good luck at the event, and I hope to meet you there.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me on once again.
All right,
Hail to Pitt.
Hail to Pitt. I love it, Anthony. You're listening to Total Shooter Show, powered by the Beach Lifestyle Celebrity segment. We'll be back in just a moment.